Hi everyone, and welcome to week 9 of the course. This week we're going to be focusing on social stratification and inequality as it pertains to class, with a focus on American society. I'm going to keep this lecture short because you also have a 10-minute documentary to watch about class and groups in America, and also people's perceptions of these concepts. So the chapter starts off by discussing stratification, which has existed in most societies throughout time, whether it be slavery or the caste system in India or more informal versions of class that we have today. Then it goes on to describe different ways of measuring class, because it's not just income, but it can also be part of occupation, education, inheritance. It also considers the intersections of race and gender with class, and that's what your discussion board will be about, how these factors influence each other. On the discussion board, I mentioned that race, class, and gender, they're kind of known as the holy trinity of sociology, right? So if you're Catholic or Christian, you know that the holy trinity is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So in sociology, we say that our holy trinity is race, class, and gender. These are the three concepts that we hold most high in sociology, and we always come back to discussing. So far we've studied class and gender, and I want you to discuss which one has more of an impact on a person's identity. So we're going to hold off on the race part. If you think race is the most important, then maybe avoid that question for now. When we get to race, we can talk about that. The alternate question is describing how to measure social class based on the textbook and then your own creative ideas about measuring class. I want you to pay special attention to pages 260 to 264 in the textbook, because these will be part of the essay that you'll have, essay number 2. So in addition to posting on the discussion board, you're going to do the ePortfolio post. You'll watch a video that's linked right here, and then just respond to a few questions. I want you to read chapter 8, and also I want you to begin reading The Kite Runner, which is the novel that the last third of the class is going to be based on, and your final paper will be based on The Kite Runner. So please order it if you haven't already, and it would be a good idea to begin reading it soon. So I posted essay 2, which is available in the essays tab. It's not due until November 10th, but I wanted people to see how the essay question develops over the discussion board and the ePortfolio assignments. And if this ever loads, you'll see I have a link there to the ASA format and the link to the essay. It's not due until November 10th. But for the essay, I want you to just go through it. You're going to give a brief introduction, as always. And the paper is going to be focusing on Louis, the character from the reading last week, I Am Not Louis Beechnut. So this is going to be about urbanization, inequality, class. You're going to draw from the readings and then also theories. So after the introduction, you're going to give a description of Bushwick as a neighborhood. And that's based on the Bushwick info that we did in the ePortfolio. This isn't loading, so it will load for you. My Wi-Fi is just terrible lately. So you'll go back to that Bushwick info website that we used for the ePortfolio last week, and you'll collect a few more bits of data. I want you to include at least 3 factors about the neighborhood. So if you looked at class last time, you might want to include race and another factor this time. So you're going to describe those 3 factors just like you did in the ePortfolio, just do it for 2 extra factors. And then you're going to write a description of who Louis is and what he does. This will only be 1 paragraph, and it's all written on the instructions. And then you're going to apply 2 theorists to Louis's situation. So first you're going to apply Marx to the situation, and then you're going to pick another theorist. So that theorist could be from the first week or 2 of classes when we're discussing, giving an overview of theories, or it could be a theorist from this chapter. There's some overlap, but there's some new theorists on class this week. And then you'll conclude your essay with a discussion of if you think Louis is part of the capitalist or the proletariat class, right? Because he's not wealthy, but he is an owner of some production, not production, but consumption means, right? He owns a store. So he is technically an owner. He could be considered a capitalist. He could also be considered a proletariat because he's not really making a big income. So I want you to pick if he's a capitalist or a proletariat and why. and give a brief synopsis of what the information about Bushwick and Lewis tells us about stratification, just tying it all together in a conclusion. Okay, so if you have any questions about anything this week, shoot me an email, and have a great week.